I talked about this morning with Cliff and with Tara, but Trump did this Super Bowl interview, and I haven't seen all of it. I haven't seen any of it, actually, but I haven't seen all of it in one big chunk. But this is him telling about his beautiful plan for Gaza. And this goes out to the uncommitted. Nice work, assholes. You just went, it's a lesser of two evils. And you helped elect the greater of two evils. You actively focused on guaranteeing that the greater of two evils would succeed. Nice job. And don't try to walk it back and go, it was a fucking this, it was, a little of this, a little of that, and we don't really, there was really no difference. No, shut the fuck up. I'll listen to this.
Brett Baier had an exclusive interview, as we told you earlier, but you didn't see this part. Mm-hmm. This is him talking about his...
Sorry, they edited it out for the Super Bowl? They didn't want the whole country to see this?
Plan for Gaza. Watch.
We'll build beautiful communities for the 1.9 million people. We'll build beautiful communities, safe communities. Could be 5, 6, could be 2, but we'll build safe communities a little bit away from where they are. We're all
a little bit away from another country is what he means.
What this danger is. In the meantime, I would own this. Think of it as a real estate development.
Motherfucker, it doesn't get, I've heard him say it several times, and it just gets fucking crazier every time. I don't have my nut warning in there. I apologize, guys. It's not loaded in this one. So consider yourself warned. Nut warning.
For the future. It would be a beautiful piece of land.
Would the Palestinians have the right to return?
Spent. No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have...
Yep. Just what we fucking said. What we fucking tell you. No, they wouldn't. Would they have a right to return, says Brett Baier. No, they wouldn't.
Land,
would the Palestinians have the right to return?
Spent. No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better housing, much better. In other words, I'm talking about building a permanent place for them. Because if they have to return now, it'll be years before you could ever. It's not habitable. It will be years before it could happen. I'm talking about starting to build, and I think I could make a deal with Jordan. I think I could make a deal with Egypt. We give them billions and billions of dollars a year.
So you're going to watch...
Yeah, to protect Israel, you dumb motherfucker. What are you going to do? Pull that? Do you want Israel to nuke Iran? Because if you put their back against the wall by getting your relationship with Jordan and Egypt on shaky ground, good God. Listen to this shit again. Listen to this.
Own this. Think of it as a real estate development for the future.
Just like the flippant bullshit. Anybody who thought there was a toss-up between this fuckwad and Harris? How do you walk outside? How do you show your fucking face to anybody? Or do you just surround yourself with people who are just as deluded and full of shit and cruel and gross as you are? Good Lord. Hal, are you vote shaming? You're fucking right.
It would be a beautiful piece of land.
Would the Palestinians have the right to return?
Spent. No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better...
No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better place. We're going to build them a fucking subdivision in Jordan someplace on the other side of the fucking country. They'll live in tents for a couple of years while we build it. And then maybe the locals who never wanted them there in the first fucking place will take them out or move them or breed them out or kill them or whatever the fuck. And then we'll turn those places into oceanfront property.
Housing much better. In other words, I'm talking about building a permanent place for them, because if they have to return now, it'll be years before you could ever. It's not habitable. It will be years before it could happen. I'm talking about starting to build, and I think I could.
Also, for fuck's sake, these places you're going to send them to don't exist. Wouldn't it take years to build the same shit you're talking about? I mean, they're going to have to lay a foundation, right? They're going to have to bulldoze some stuff, I suppose. So what's the difference between northern Gaza and some random piece of fucking desert in Jordan?
Could make a deal with Jordan. I think I could make a deal with Egypt. You know, we give them billions and billions of dollars a year.
Jesus Christ. Like, how in the fuck? And again, like, this started as like his fucking id jumping out of his goddamn neck. And now it has turned into like, this is policy. This is, you know, and again, Greenland bullshit, Canada bullshit, Panama bullshit. That I'm not worried about. Bombing Mexico and this shit could actually have legs because he's so attached to this idea and sees it as part of his future and does not understand any of the downside at all. Can't even picture it. And again, there's a direct line between October 7th and his recognition of the Golan Heights and his, you know, okaying settlers in the, you know, in the West Bank. And then, of course, Jerusalem becoming the capital and then, you know, recognizing that and then moving the embassy there. That was a direct line to October 7th happening. This stuff, this blather he's talking about. At a certain point, this is end time shit for a bunch of these folks. Like, this could trigger so much fucking awful right now. And he just doesn't care. And again, it may not until they take one step towards it. Once the hostages have come back or whatever, and then they've released the Palestinian prisoners into Gaza again, what's to stop them from just killing all the people they let go? Trump's not going to stop them. Why do you think he says the Ukraine war wouldn't have happened if he was president? It's because it wouldn't have been a war. It would have been over in 6 fucking days. He just said, fill your boots, go do what you want to do. Pull your socks up. Hold on. Now, this is another chunk of that. Trump 100% disagrees with federal judges' crazy Doge ruling, you know, the Constitution.
Welcome back. I'm Brett Baer. We'll send you back to the Fox team in New Orleans in just a few minutes, but
please don't.
Now, welcome to Mar-a-Lago, the winter White House in Palm Beach, Florida. We're pleased to be joined by the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Happy Super Bowl.
Thank you.
You know, you...
So not only is he bringing back Merry Christmas, he's bringing back Happy Super Bowl too. Finally, promises made, promises
are going to be the first sitting president to attend a Super Bowl. It's a big day.
Yes, just in time when we realize the government spends too much money. We're going to spend a bunch of money to send you to the fucking Super Bowl for no fucking reason.
For America, always is. What made you want to do it?
Well, first of all, I'm very surprised to hear that. I would have assumed many presidents came, but I think just the spirit of the country's taken on a whole new life. I thought it would be a good thing for the country to have the president be at the game.
It's an iconic day.
Why? Why? Okay, look. One of the things about like Joe Biden's presidency that had it happened at any other time, I would have really enjoyed if it hadn't been in the Trump, I don't know, saga period of American history, it would have been really fucking boring. I got news for you, asshole. I don't need the federal government or even the state government to be in my life at all. I'd like them to be there doing their shit, but I don't need to see you guys, right? I don't need any more than somebody who's working on an assembly line needs the fucking CEO kind of walking through, making everybody clap when he walks by. We're all working. We got shit to do, dumb fuck. Get out of here. Nobody wants to, like, this idea that it's become, the reality TV presidency, and it can only get ratings if it's drama, drama, drama. it's a fucking waste of time. No, we don't need to see you there. There's enough in just will Taylor Swift be happy whether her boyfriend wins or loses. There's enough shit to cover the news like about a fucking football game. How about this, asshole? How about it just is about the game itself? Honestly. I mean, there's a little bit of like, oh, Paul McCartney's there. That's cool. About the Super Bowl. But that lasts about an eighth of a second. It's like between popcorn bites. Or nachos, I suppose, if you're eating them at home. What a dickhead.
It's an iconic day. It's going to be a great game. Two great teams. And let's see what happens.
You know, it seems the first days of this administration are like a no-huddle offense. You know.
No, fuck you. They already did the huddle. It was called Project 2025. We told everybody what they would do, and that's what they're doing. All he's doing is signing pages in Project 2025. That's it. They printed out a giant copy of it, and then somebody is going, here, sign this page today. Here, sign this page today. And they're doing 30 a fucking day. They're executive orders. They don't mean shit. They can be wiped away the next time. He's not changing legislation. He did this last time. And it's one of the reasons why Biden did the infrastructure bill and Trump had a tax cut, and that was it. Infrastructure that will change and benefit this country for decades, and a tax cut that will expire this year because even Republicans know that if they re-up it, they're fucking the debt. A lot of people are like, he wins all the time, and he wins, and he does all these wins, and he gets all these wins. And no, he doesn't. It's all temporary, and it all falls apart. He gets a lot of news cycles out of it, but then they eat shit.
Plays going down the field, one after another. There's a long list of things you've already got done in 3 weeks. Big border policy changes, ICE crackdowns on criminals, taking biological men out of women and girls' sports, big energy policy changes. So.
Again, policy changes. That happens with every administration.
What's different with you
What's up,
and
Craig
your
Soda?
administration? The difference between the 45th president and the 47th president?
Well, with the 45th...
Well, I'm older. I've got a fuller diaper. What was the question? My nunt is shockingly bad. Honestly, if I walk up to Mike Johnson and somebody points at something on the ceiling and I look up at it, his porn app goes off. And also, I'm dough-headed now. So anything you say, be careful. It might become policy.
I had tremendous opposition, but I didn't know people, and I didn't have the kind of support that I needed. I put people in office, some really great ones, but I had some that I wouldn't have put. I would have, known better if it were a couple of years later, or if I had a little more experience in D.C. I was a New York person, not a D.C. person.
Yeah, there's a huge fucking difference.
And I had a lot of opposition. I just noticed, I looked on the stage for the recent inauguration, and I'm looking, it's like a who's who of Washington. Well, if you look on the stage for the first one, it was just the opposite.
So some of your plays have raised some questions and had some pushbacks. 19 states' attorneys general filed a lawsuit, and early Saturday, a judge agreed with them to restrict Elon Musk and his government efficiency team, Doge, from accessing Treasury Department payment and data systems. They said there was a risk of irreparable harm. What do you make of that? And does that slow you down on what you want to do?
No, I disagree with it 100%. I think it's crazy, and we have to...
Oh, you do? 100%. All the points. Every aspect of it, you disagree with it. Well, tell you what. Break it down for me, fuckhead. Like what? What are they doing specifically in there? Why do they need to access Treasury Department data themselves? Why don't they just talk to the Commerce Committee? They deal with that, and all those guys have been sworn to secrecy. They all have, clearance. They've all been through everything. They see everything. Why not talk to them? Oh, because it doesn't look cool. It looks like you're kicking in doors around here, like looking for criminals. That's why. But the reality is he can't explain any of it. He doesn't know how anything works, so he can't understand if it's broken or not.
Solve the efficiency problem. We have to solve the fraud, waste, abuse, all the things that have gone into the government. You take a look at the USAID, the kind of fraud in there,
And you
where
found
the money's
significant
going.
There's no fraud. None. You can disagree with what they're spending it on, but it's not fraud. Fraud is, I said it was for this, and it's actually for this. Or I'm not even using it for anything at all. I'm just keeping it.
Well, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars of money that's going to places where it shouldn't be going, where...
Yeah, that's a matter of opinion. In hundreds of millions of dollars, no, you aren't. It's so far it's under 200 million. It was like 120, something like that altogether. These programs that they've been bitching about, which again, questionable as to whether that they actually went to what they're saying. They just went to an organization that also did that thing, which is another lazy way of doing this. This is that cartel-related social media accounts, and 3 tiers down, and you're like, this started here and went to here. They're like connecting a dot, a line with, pretending it's a direct line when in actuality they're just linked loosely. Okay. I guess, what is it, $41 billion? Is how much USAID's budget is? I gotta say, if you're gonna say there's tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse, and the budget is $41 billion, I want you to be able to tell me about payments of at least $22 billion. Over half. Tell me, or a quarter of it. How about that? How about just $10 billion wasted? Point to it. Get the books. Look at it yourself. Open it up on your own fucking desk with your goddamn Sharpie and start circling stuff.
Read a list, you'd say this is ridiculous, and you've read the same lists, and...
Right, it's the same list everywhere. They don't add to it. It's the same shit. And again, it's just policy shit. You just don't believe in it. You're just anti-trans, and you're anti-LGBT, or you don't think that should be a priority in terms of human rights, dealing with another country, or any of the stuff that we do to mitigate the differences in culture and try to communicate like, hey, we've got trans people and people of color, and we've got, gay people that work in our embassy, and you guys need to know how to talk to them. So we're going to do these little gatherings with your government staff and with your press so they know how to cover it when we're in the country, so they don't misgender our people and stuff. And you just don't like that. Don't fucking call it fraud if you just disagree with the fucking policy. Man up and just go, my spending priorities will be this or not at all. But don't act like we're all supposed to be shocked.
There are many that you haven't even seen. It's crazy.
Bullshit. Why? Why, if Mr. Transparency, why haven't I seen it? Why hasn't my audience seen it? Why do we keep seeing the same shit over and over again? Stuff that, by the way, people have been bitching about overreach and too much foreign aid and stuff have been talking about forever. The dude they brought before the House committee to talk about this was like, yeah, these things they're finding I've been complaining about for a decade. And you're like, yeah, they're not discovering anything fucking new. So just man up and go, I have different priorities. They put too much focus on this and I disagree. So I'm changing the focus of these things. It's on me. It's not waste. It's not fraud. It's not abuse. This is just where we disagree. And stand by it. Don't be a fucking wuss. This like victim playing while victim blaming, it's just gross.
It's a big scam. Now, there's some good money, and we can do that through any one of a number. I think I'd rather give it to Marco Rubio over at the State Department. Let him take care of the few good ones. So I don't know if it's kickbacks or what's going on, but
if you don't know, then shut the fuck up. Again, $40 billion. I don't even want to hear from you motherfuckers until you crest over $1 billion in savings, because anything under that, the appropriation committees should have been able to figure out over time. Hold on. I don't know. Let's see. See, I'm trying to find something that isn't from the last little bit. Hey, let's just go with Lebanon. You know how we've heard that Tiffany's husband's dad or somebody is going to be the ambassador to Lebanon, right? So let's see. I'm going to try to do this in here. Well, there we go. This is from the Kenyan Times 6 days ago. The United States Agency for International Development allocated a budget of 5.6 to 43 billion for fiscal year 2023, as reported by the Congressional Research Service. So they know the budget. They know the exact amount of the dollars that are going out. Approximately 130 countries receive USAID assistance, with Europe and Eurasia receiving the largest share, amounting to 17 billion. The huge allocations because of Ukraine as the top foreign recipient in 2023. Moreover, between 2022 and 2024, USAID provided more than 30 billion in direct financial support for the Ukrainian government. USAID funds are usually distributed by various organizations instead of being directly utilized by the government. A substantial 52% of USAID programs are implemented by non-governmental organizations, while public international organizations, which include entities through partnerships with governments like the World Bank, handle 34%. On the other hand, U.S. government agencies oversee about 10% of the USAID projects, while foreign governments are responsible for approximately 4%. Among public international organizations, the World Bank Group was the top recipient of USAID non-military assistance between 2013 and 2022. $20 billion. On the other hand, World Food Program, which is dedicated to hunger relief efforts, has received more than $15 billion during the same time period. Moreover, for-profit firms have played a significant role in USAID-funded projects, with 40% of all NGO-related USAID funding being directed to these companies. Also, at least 4 private firms received over $1 billion each from these. Okay, so here's the top ones. Catholic Relief Services is number one of the groups that have done this. So Catholic Relief Services and Chemonics International, which is, by the way, which sounds very gnarly, but hold on one second. I'll show you what that is. In Lebanon, those are the top two there as well. So Chemonics International, there it is. Is a development solution. Yeah. So this is a private development company that Development Works Here is their title. About us. Let's see, reject all, go away. In private sector investment for agribusiness mobilized with partners in 2024, they got $2 billion. Cost savings on health commodities in 2024, $1 billion. 2,800 partnerships with local organizations across 50 countries in 2023. And this is harnessing tech for sustainable development where they work. Out of DC and London, Latin America, Caribbean, Africa, Middle East, Europe, Asia. Okay. Afghanistan support, careers, what we do. Here we go. Let's jump into this. We drive change with technical acumen, unparalleled systems, and continuous innovation. We make development work in more than 100 countries. Learn more about where we work. Okay, blah, blah, blah. There we go. Let's go. I don't know. Let's go to Africa. What they do there. It just signs on. It just flips over to this. Harnessing tech for sustainable development. Let's go to this window. The website's with the little eh. Let's see. Work with us. We could join our team. Chemonics community. Partner with us. There we go. What we do. We know that part. Where we work. We know that part. Who we are. All right. Let's go to who we are. There they go. Go to the page, you weirdo. Our story. Today, invest in thing. Learn more about what we do. It's like to work at Chemonics. Sign up for the newsletter. Sign up for our newsletter. Partner with us. Report a concern. Whatever. Okay. Very pared down website. Probably because they don't advertise because they don't have to. Let's see. I'll look up. Let's see if there's a USAID contract credence layoff, furlough hundreds of workers. Check this out. Hold on. This is last year. Oh dear. Look at this. Now the plot thickens. Chemonics International Incorporated to pay $3.1 million to resolve allegations of fraudulent billing under global health supply chain contract. Was this under Trump? Nope. Chemonics International, a private international development firm based in Washington, D.C., has agreed to pay $3 million to resolve allegations that violate the False Claims Act by submitting fraudulent claims for payment to the U.S. Agency for International Development. So apparently we did know about this shit. The settlement resolves allegations that Chemonics acted recklessly in failing to detect fraudulent charges by its subcontractor, Zenith Carex, also known as Zenith, for certain delivery services in Nigeria, and passed the charges on to USAID under the Global Health Supply Chain Procurement and Supply Chain Management contract. Under this contract, Chemonics provided healthcare supply chain management services, related technical assistance in Nigeria and other countries. Motherfucker, like, we know this stuff. Here, is this the settlement? Hold on. Do they have the text of it? Yeah, there it is. There's the settlement itself. Chemonics is a private. Okay, there's that was just a short form of the whole thing. With respect to LHD, cold chain services in Nigeria, the United States contends that between 2017 and March 2020, I wish I could remember who was president during those years. I'm a complete blank. Zenith fraudulently charged Chemonics for its transportation services based on truck tonnage as opposed to the weight per kilogram of the commodity transported, as the subcontract between Chemonics and Zenith required. With respect to LMD cold chain services in Nigeria, the United States contends that between June 2017 and March 2020, Zenith fraudulently charged Chemonics a higher rate for the LMD delivery services than the subcontract permitted. Yawn. Standard. This is how we find how costs get overrun. That's what you do. That's what it's supposed to fucking look like. That, you know what that is? You know what? Hold on. You know what this is? This is the government fucking working. Doing its shit. Discovering that during the Trump years, somebody was fucking like shuffling money around and didn't care, and they got busted during the Biden administration, and they managed to get a settlement before they left office. So this motherfucker couldn't give them a break. So and then let's go to FHI 360. There we go. FHI 360. Yeah. Okay. Another private development organization, putting opportunity within reach. I spent more than 50 years developing bold solutions to global challenges and creating measurable results. This picture probably terrifies maggots. This is enough to get them their funding cut. By the way, adorable. Who we are, 60 plus countries, 300 active projects, 4,000 team members, 5,500 journal things. Tuberculosis research, God knows, who cares about infectious disease? Okay, what do we do in the United States? What are they? Okay, accept all, go away. Where does this go? Okay, U.S., what happens? I understand, okay. Explore, how do you do? There's 68 projects in this. U.S. Okay, overview. Health programs that employ our social marketing, communication expertise to promote behavior, services, policies, support healthy communities, education programs that help school systems, state agencies, community organizations improve learning and well-being for all students so they can succeed in work and life, and school economic opportunity programs, including workforce development, which probably Trump's fucking opportunity zone ripoff. Use that. International exchange programs that connect students, scholars, and civil society leaders so that vital knowledge transcends national borders. Bringing in foreigners is probably what they're mad about. Early care and education, family community engagement, financial literacy, STEM learning. Look at that. They do STEM learning. Let's see what their STEM shit is about. Deeply committed to ensuring high quality, equitable STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, learning for all students, promote this research, developing research-based curricula for after school and other informal settings, conducting research and evaluation on STEM engagement, working with private sector, schools, districts, and other, this is after school math plus, featured programs, bridge to employment mentors, propel Trenton students towards their future, beating the odds, how a high school program transformed Trenton students' futures, the next engineers, bridges to employment, women in STEM, giving back to STEM, a young woman uses her experience to encourage others, sparking girls' interest in STEM 2D careers. So this is what they hate. they view this as diversity, equity, and inclusion overlap or some shit. And that's why they hate these groups. So these groups take their money in and then they distribute them and whatever. You can argue whether or not they spend most of the money on doing the stuff or their own infrastructure or those kind of things. That's what oversight is for. And basically what the Republicans are doing is that they don't have the nerve to cut these programs themselves because they're cowards. So they're hoping to outsource this to Musk and Trump. Hey, I don't know. I just went in there and cut everything. I'm not the bad guy here. That's what they're doing. Development Attorneys, ABT Associates, RTI International, Research Institute, Jon Snow International, which I think is buys everybody a subscription to HBO so they can watch House of Dragons, I suppose, which is the DEI version of. Okay, anyways. Save the Children, terrible group, ARD, Gipiego, Deloitte. Deloitte was one of the big ones they covered as well. World Vision, which I actually did a fundraiser for at one point in Seattle, where I got to sing with Roger Daltrey and Whip from Queensryche, and who was there? Matt Starr was there. Like it was great. The entire Queensryche group was there, and early in the day. Population services, Okay, so these are these groups. Okay, so waste, fraud, and abuse. No, he just doesn't like it, and he doesn't have the guts to go, I don't like that stuff. I don't want it done. I think it's wrong, and so I'm going to prioritize stuff that I think helps the country. He could do it. He's just too stupid.
People, look, I ran on this, and the people want me to find it, and I've had a great help with Elon Musk, who's been terrific.
Bottom line, you say you trust him.
Trust Elon? Oh, he's not gaining anything. In fact, I wonder how he can devote the time to it. He's so into it. But I told him...
Yeah, he acts like I'm not even paying him, and he's acting like there's something in it for him. Fucking weird. Do you get the feeling that if Donald Trump wasn't president or wasn't a rich guy right now, he'd have been talked into a van a long time ago and ended up in a river with his pants on backwards? Like, there's gullible, and then there's this. Jenny Faye loves Queensryche. What's not to love? Raise my eyes and she stares. Right.
Do that, then I'm going to tell him very soon, like maybe in 24 hours, to go check the Department of Education. He's going to find the same thing. Then I'm going to go to the...
No, he's not. And again, the entire budget of the fucking Department of Education is what, 9 hours of federal spending a year?
Military. Let's check the military. We're going to find billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud and abuse, but I campaigned to...
What if you don't? I woke on impact, under surveillance from the camera eye. Right. You guys, you know it. You guys will get me caught up in it, and then I'll start singing, and then yeah. Yes, Operation Mindcrime, great album. Although I will say that Promised Land, both the song and the album, fantastic. And Someone Else, the piano ballad in it, I love. And I used it as part of my audition for a Broadway gig that I actually got, but then couldn't take because my show went back to production, and so they had first dibs on me. There's this thing when actors have a job and they have a series and you don't know if you're being picked up. So you go and audition for other stuff, and you're in your show that you're on is in what's called A position, so that if they decide to come back and they do a pickup, you have to go back. It's how Pierce Brosnan lost Bond the first time. That's why Timothy Dalton got it. But I got Spam-A-Lot, and then I had to go back to the show, which I'm not upset about, but yeah. Just letting you know. Ha ha ha.
This, Brett.
You announced tariffs on Canada and Mexico. You immediately got action from both of them on border security and drug
No, you didn't. Canada was already doing that shit. They signed the bill in December, dummy. And Mexico had like 50,000 people at the border, and they said they're giving you 10, which means they took back 5.
Prediction.
I did. A lot of
Is
action
that good
nobody
enough?
expected.
Is that good enough?
No, it's not good enough.
So more needed in 30 days.
Something has to happen. It's not sustainable, and I'm changing it.
You know, the Prime Minister said.
By the way, what he means is USMCA is the dumbest trade deal that anyone has ever struck, and only a moron could come up with it. That's what he's actually saying.
This weekend to a group of Canadian businessmen, he was at a private meeting. He said that your wish for Canada to be the 51st state is a, quote, real thing. Is it a real thing?
Yeah, it is. I think Canada would be much
It's a real wish. Yeah. Is it Pinocchio?
better off being a 51st state because
It would be 3 states. It's enormous. The provinces, you'd probably end up with 3 provinces switching into 3 states. I doubt Quebec would go for it. I think if Canada joined, then Quebec would say, fuck you, and finally separate. Not happening. And again, it's a real fixation. It's not going to happen.
lose $200 billion a year with.
We do not lose $200 billion. We are richer than they are. We buy more shit from them than they could ever buy from us, stupid. We don't lose any of it. This is so fucking weird.
Canada, and I'm not going to let that happen. It's too much. Why are we paying $200 billion a year, essentially in subsidy to Canada? Now,
We're not. We're just buying more shit because we have the biggest economy in the world.
if they're a 51st state, I don't mind doing it.
You said
Look at, he's doing his side jaw now. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. So he's like, ooh, he's going on to me. Ooh, it's getting worse. Hold on. Oops. 1 second. Yeah, California's GDP is about $3 to $4 trillion. Canada's is a little under 2. The whole country. California could have a trade deficit with Canada just buying food if we wanted to.
the tariff is a beautiful word. There are some signs in the markets, consumer confidence, that they're a little jittery. So if all goes to plan, when do you...
Also a little jittery because they actually don't know what's going to happen because he keeps doing them and then calling them off and doing them and calling them off. Shit or get off the pot, fucker.
Do you think families would be able to feel prices going down, groceries, energy, or are you kind of saying to them, hang on, inflation may get worse until it gets better?
No, I think we're going to become a rich... Look, we're not that rich right now. We owe $36 trillion. That's because we let all these nations take advantage of us.
No, it isn't. It's because we prioritized our citizens through 3 of the most drastic fucking moments in any country's history. 9/11, 2008, and COVID. Never mind fucking AIDS and the Cold War.
Same thing, like $200 billion with Canada. We owe 300. We have a deficit with Mexico of $350 billion. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let that happen.
Yes, all retailers have a deficit with their wholesaler. Hold on. What's the Mexican GDP? It's probably higher. It's got to be. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I take it back. Mexico's is smaller than Canada's. Mexico's GDP is about 1.5 trillion. California's, again, is almost 4.
Sports has always been something that Americans rally around to come together. They really do. You won the...
Yeah, you play golf, which isn't a sport. Does that feel bad?
Popular vote, you won all the swing states. Have you thought about how to try to bring the country together, to reach out or to find common ground? Have you thought about that or how that might go?
Let me guess. He's going to tell a story about how success is going to bring us all together because last time The people like Bernie Sanders were calling him because they had to, because he's the fucking president, and it's not him, it's the office. And they've got to get concessions to make shit work.
I'd love to do it, but I would say this: we have to come together, but to
Right now, over me.
come together, there's only one thing that's going to do it, and that's massive success.
Right, yeah, this is the same story told last time.
Success will bring the country together, but it's hard. And I say it's hard.
Hard success. Something I'm familiar with, but you're seemingly incapable of experiencing. Right.
I just signed a bill allowing for women not to have to be punished by
Hey, fuckwad. No, you didn't. You didn't sign a bill. It's an executive order. Hold on. Just checking myself to make sure this wasn't. Yeah, Trump signs executive order banning trans women from women's sports. Yeah, dude, it wasn't a bill.
men in sports. In other words, men are not going to be allowed to play in sports against women. It's ridiculous.
You're a sports guy. You're a football fan.
Explain the game to me.
Size up these two teams.
I'm a big fan of both teams. They're sort of different.
What a pussy. Wait, sorry. What's his description of this? I'm a big fan of both teams. They're sort of different.
These two teams.
I'm a big fan of both teams. They're sort of different.
Yes, one apparently is from the Kansas area / Missouri, and the other one is apparently from Pennsylvania.
In Philadelphia, you have one of the greatest running backs, Saquon. You know, Saquon had an uncle who was a great fighter, and Iran Barkley, his name was. So you have a great running back. You really have a great quarterback. The other team, the quarterback really knows how to win. He's a great, great quarterback.
So game prediction?
There's a lot of chops in that one. Did you see that? You see the edits in that one?
In Philadelphia, you have one of the greatest running backs, Saquon. You know, Saquon had...
See that? He asked somebody. They cut. Listen, look at the cut. Look at the overlap. Listen to the overlapping words.
In Philadelphia, you have one of the greatest running backs, Saquon. You know, Saquon had an uncle who was a great fighter, and Iran Barkley, his name was. So you have a great running back. You really have a great quarterback.
Yeah, they're slicing it around.
The other team, the quarterback really knows how to win. He's a great, great quarterback.
So game prediction?
I hate to do it. I just say that I've watched this great quarterback who has, by the way, a phenomenal wife, okay? She's a Trump fan. She's a MAGA fan, so I happen to love her, okay? But she's...
Who? He means Mahomes. But who?
She's a great person. I watched her being interviewed. I said, boy, that's pretty good. But she's great, and he's great. I guess...
What was his name again? What was her name again?
You have to say that when a quarterback wins as much as he's won...
Yes. He makes it, I don't know, shit, to the Super Bowl, I guess.
I have to go with Kansas City.
Is that his name? His name is Mr. and Mrs. Kansas City?
I have to go with Kansas City. At the same time, Philadelphia has a fantastic... It's going to be just a great game.
Jesus Christ. Again, totally wussing out. Couldn't come up with Patrick Mahomes' name. Couldn't do it. Couldn't fucking do it. And they met, like, multiple times. What a douchebag. Okay, now, the other thing is, and by the way, how we're doing on... Oh, look at this. God, this show just zipped by today. Is it just me, or are you guys just awesome? By the way, thank you again. And Judd, thank you so much for the super chat. And thanks again, Jen, for that as well. By the way, hit the like, share the show. Don't forget to subscribe to my Substack if you do the Substack thing. Whatever channel you like to watch me on, subscribe there. Just do it wherever you're comfortable. I will bring the show to you. I am not one of these people that needs to corral you all into one place. But if you're on YouTube and you're watching, and I know you are, subscribe, will you? You know it. Come on. He's right. It was a great game. Yes, for the Eagles.